let's go into Aladdin, because the trailer, it wasn't even really a trailer. It was called a special look. Special look we got for Aladdin, and it was, oh, a
It was
special look at
special.
the genie. It was um, so, and Kristen had stuff to say about this. She had thoughts. So before I do anything though, I want to give her a huge boom pow what, because I watched the trailer several times looking for a midriff on Jasmine, and there was no midriff on Jasmine. So she was right about that. They're not. It looks like Jasmine is not going to have a midriff in this one. Um,
Mommy's keeping it clean.
but but Kristen, tell me, should we put a fork in Aladdin right now? Is it done based off of that genie?
I'm so concerned, you guys. I mean, so I texted the guys like right after I saw it basically and was like, I'm concerned about Aladdin, gents. And I think there's there's a couple of things I feel like that are just really going to be obstacles for this movie to get over. I'm first and foremost, the thing everybody knows, Will Smith is not Robin Williams. I mean, walking in, no matter how good this movie could be, he's not Robin Williams. And everybody's going to be thinking about Robin Williams because Robin Williams is amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's already something that this movie is going to have to fight to get past just from the get-go, no matter what the quality is. But the problem that I felt like this preview is really kind of showing is they are not getting it on this one. Like this whole concept where, they started doing like live action everything. People were like, do we really need live action everything? And I think this is the first time that we really see it's not matching up well. Like the concept of turning something into live action, it's in its execution, it's not hitting the right notes for me. Like the character of Genie, regardless of, who played him in the animated version of this movie, it's this larger than life, like completely outsized, cartoony, insane personality that's just huge. And that hugeness and zaniness and out there-ness is just completely gone in this live action version of things. I mean, I want to leave something for somebody else to say, but
Take
it's
it
just a
all.
dude in blue. Like, it's not enough. Like, the magic of that Genie character is not coming across well so far. I hope they do something with it.
Well, I'll say when I go in, I won't be thinking of Robin Williams because he was not the live action genie. I'll be thinking of James Monroe Iglehart.
Who is
But
amazing, yes. Done well, done
um,
well.
um, but I don't think we know enough really about the movie to really have a sense of okay, um, this is how Will Smith is going to be. I think if we looked at clips of, if you look at certain portions of the animated version of Robin Williams, I think you could be like, well, he's playing this kind of straight. Um, this is kind of not boring, but I thought he was a genie. I thought he was supposed to be, all knowing, all powerful, and stuff like that. But I just think we have a clip that kind of shows something that we're not crazy about. But I think a clip is not a movie. I think a cover is not a book, so open it up and take a look.
That was coming. I could see that on the horizon.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm still excited. But yeah, I just think, okay, the trailer, but because I've seen many films where the trailer was fantastic, and then I went to see the movie, and I was disappointed. So,
Whatever. Lone Ranger is an awesome film. Ed, what do you think?
I will defend at least 1/3 of that film.
At least a third.
No, okay. We were, when we were talking about it earlier this week, I think for me, it felt like the character of Genie fell into that uncanny valley, which was really kind of weird because Will Smith is a real person. We see him as a real person, but it was the way that they kind of mixed him with the CGI of the Genie that made it just look off to me. I don't know how else to describe it other than uncanny valley. And I know that that's probably not the proper term because this isn't a full CGI character, but it just didn't feel real. And I almost wish they had done what they did on like I Dream of Genie, where you had the little smoke come out of the bottle and then hit the floor and then turn into a blue Will Smith, rather than a half smoke body and a half a Will Smith body. So it just didn't feel like they had the effects where they need them to be at this point. We are what, 3 months away from release?
Yeah.
Oh,
90 days away from release. They should have those special effects pretty secure, and we don't even have a full trailer yet. So all of those things are the bells and whistles that are going off in my mind. I agree with Cameron in the fact that, and I've said it 100 times, we haven't seen this in context yet, but I'm a little worried going in.
See, I try to give you the context thing. Like, I try to say, yes, Ed is absolutely right. We have not seen this in context. And that's why I will give a pass on, like, I feel he's a little bit of a rapping Genie. When I saw him all the jewels and he's like, you really never heard of me?
Right. He said that, right? Didn't he say like that there was going to be a hip hop kind of thing?
Yeah, and I was like, there it is. There's that Shazam, that rapping Genie. I don't want it.
That movie was horrible.
And I hope Aladdin's not horrible. So I will give him a pass on that, and I will even give him the pass on the size of the Genie, because Genie doesn't really shrink down to Aladdin's level till well after Friend Like Me. Like, when you first meet Genie, he is all, powerful and just going out and doing like that. So I will even give him a pass on that, because maybe they're just a part of the movie we are seeing. What I cannot give them a pass on is how bad I don't even really want to call it CGI, because it looks like they essentially took a body, and I have this picture here of Will Smith when he was doing Ali, the movie Ali, and it looks like they took a body like of him of like that and put his face on him, made him blue, and that was the Genie. My problem with that is that the Genie is not this muscular dude, unless he's impersonating Arnold Schwarzenegger and talking about phenomenal cosmic power, ever impressive phenomenal cosmic powers, all that jazz. For the most of it, the Genie's fat. The Genie actually has these smooth contours, these things that are going on. And you guys may say, okay, well, you're getting too into it. But I disagree, because of our interview with James Monroe Iglehart, which you can listen to if you go to the DisneyMovieReview.com/117. But, because of that interview, he's talking about, when I was skinny, I didn't get any jobs. And once I got fat, then I started getting jobs, and they told me I have to keep up a certain weight in order to keep this job. So he goes on a special diet. And I'm trying not to be biased towards James Monroe Iglehart, even though I think Disney made a really big mistake not taking their Tony Award-winning actor, who had already proven that he could do the Genie after Robin Williams, and then trying to have someone else do it just for name recognition.
Truth.
But I think that I feel like what I'm judging this on is them not really getting the Genie. So for me, it's a thing of, yes, the CGI is bad. Yes, I'm worried about the hip hop stuff. Yes, there's all these things that I'm worried about. But at the tippy top of it, where this really comes from, is I'm worried they're not actually getting the movie and understanding it. However, what I will say, what probably matters to them when I showed it to my daughter and I paused it. It's the first time showing it to her. I paused it as soon as you saw Will Smith's face on there. And I said, honey, who's that? And she said, that's the genie. I was like, well, that's it. Like, that's all they need, right? They need those 7, 8-year-olds to do it. They don't need us to feel like that's the genie, that's the real genie or anything like that. I'm just saying, they don't need us to do that. They need those 7, 8-year-olds, and I think they're going to get them.
But who's driving those 7 and 8-year-olds?
Oh. They'll sit through anything. Those people will sit through anything. The people that are driving those 7, 8-year-olds, I will tell you, they will sit through anything. I did wonder, do you guys think what of the iconic images, you talked about doing live action just to do live action, Kristen. What of the iconic images has Disney gotten right when they do live action? So I have a list that I was able to think of. There might be more in here, but you have Maleficent's dragon. I'm just talking about iconic kind of things. Maleficent's dragon, Shere Khan, Baloo, Bagheera, King Louie. I'm kind of lumping them together. You have the Beast. You have the Genie. When you're looking at iconic things that you go into a movie, you have to get this right, or I don't watch the movie. These are the ones I've listed from the live action films we've had so far. What do you guys feel like they've gotten right and wrong?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I thought Maleficent's dragon was great. I cannot. I mean, I think if you recall, I can't give the episode number. It was someplace in the 80s, but like I was like jumping all over backflips about all of the Jungle Book. I mean, I think that is their number one live action remake, bar none. Like hands down, nothing has beaten the Jungle Book. In my opinion, in the pantheon of what they've put out since then. That was just freaking amazing. I think, I don't know, I'm just going to shut up. Like, I was just all about the Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, Jungle Book, Jungle Book. What about you, Ed? What do you think they've gotten right?
I'm with Kristen. The Jungle Book is the best live action that they've done so far. I was happy with a lot of the things that they did in Beauty and the Beast, but not everything. I mean, looks wise, as far as if you're comparing the
animated
iconic images from the animated to the live action, Jungle Book obviously came the closest. I think you could say the glass slippers and Cinderella's transformation scene in Cinderella.
Yeah, but that's kind of run of the mill. That's like, I don't want to call it run of the mill CGI, but I'm just, compared to the Beast or something like that, like I would expect them to get that a little bit better, easier at least.
People gave him some guff on the Beast.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Go boy.
Awful.
Ken gave him some guff on the Beast.
Yes, he did. Yes, I did. I still don't like the Beast. Not my favorite animated or live action, because the Beast animated is so imposing and so there's just so much to him, and this was like so just my opinion on it. And that's my concern about that's my concern about Aladdin as well, because I don't want the Genie to become The Mask. You guys remember The Mask, Jim Carrey's movie?
Yes.
I feel like that's the only way you can really do some of that. So all the stuff that the Genie does, the transformations, the dropping jaws, all that stuff. We've seen it before in The Mask, and I feel like that's the way they're going to do it here when you look at how human Will Smith looks. But again, cover is not the book. I have to see it in context, Ed. Yes, I agree. You do.
Like, is it too high?
If you think about it, what?
Like, people were like talking about like Hot Jafar. Like, you can't have Hot Jafar and Hot Genie. It's just not right.
Well, see, go ahead, Cameron. I want to let you jump in here.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you think about it, how else would you do the genie? Like, if you don't want the genie to be the mask, and that's the only way to do the slapstick, like, how else do you want the genie to be done? The genie has to be done a different way. So you can't say, "Hey, I want the genie to be done a different way," yet they do it a different way, and then you criticize that way. No, no, not that way.
Well, no. First of all, I'm not criticizing necessarily the way they're doing the genie from a story standpoint. Like if they decide to change his stuff and his CGI makes more sense, then sure. Like that's a something that we have to see in context. I'm criticizing them, trying to take something that they say is the genie and throwing it up there. Like, honestly, there was a lot of people who were saying that the genie should be blue, and Will Smith was talking about being blue. I honestly was leaving room for them to change the story. When the Entertainment Weekly cover came out and Will Smith wasn't blue and people got upset, I was leaving room for them to change the story if they wanted to. But now it looks like they're not changing the story as much. They're still having him come out of the lamp. They're still having all of the blue stuff be there. And if you're going to do that, then you need to do it right. I 100% agree with you, Cameron. How would you, do it? What would you want Disney to do if you're saying that this isn't right? Here's my only counter to that. That's Disney's job to figure out. That's not my job to come in and tell Disney, like, you want to do Aladdin. You're going to tell me you're going to do a Aladdin remake. You're going to put it on live action. You're going to have this person on the screen and all these other things. And then you come ask me how it should be done. My thing would say, go get James Monroe Iglehart and put him up on screen and let's start there. But that's not the way they chose to do it. So I think that when you look at any of the live actions, really, when you look at any of the live actions, my assumption is that Disney is talking and saying, how would we do X? Like their iconic thing, whatever that is, whether it's Maleficent's dragon, whether it's the Beast and Beauty and the Beast, whether it's, and that would be the central question. The Lion King. We're doing the Lion King remake. Okay, how would we do the lions? Like you can't have Jafar
It's not live action. It's not live action.
Okay, fine.
It's not live action.
Well,
animated remake.
No, you're absolutely right though. There is a difference, and I think probably the reason that this Mr. James Monroe Iglehart, when he did his version of the genie, it worked because he wasn't trying to imitate Robin Williams. He was doing his own thing with the character, and he made it work to fit his personality and to fit what he wanted to do or what he saw in the character. So it wasn't Robin Williams or James Monroe Iglehart doing Robin Williams.
Right.
It was James Monroe Iglehart doing the genie.
Right.
And what I feel like the trap that we're falling into with this movie is we're trying to imitate Robin Williams. We're trying to imitate the original animated version. And just like a remake or a cover song by a band, it's never going to be exactly the way that you remember it or the way that you want it to be.
Right.
Because they're not making it their own. And I think that's the problem that I keep falling into with this one from what we've seen so far.
Right. Yeah. And that's a good point, because from what we've seen so far, it's almost like Disney wants us to be there. They want us to have the nostalgia. They're showing Jafar. They're showing, you saw Raja back there. You saw the Sultan. One of my coworkers, who is not a Disney person at all, but was like, watched the film. He was like, that's not Jafar. The Jafar doesn't look like that.
Jafar.
Jafar. Yeah, when you said that, Kristen, it made me think of it. And so I think they have some, challenges to overcome in a lot of that. But again, I think part of that might be on Disney's thing, because they're the ones that are drawing the comparison. So if you're gonna do that, don't leave it up to me to tell you how to do it. You have to do it. Okay, we got to move on.